The 5th minute of added time, tucked away a penalty to make it 4-4. A quite remarkable football match, at the end of which City have to settle for a point. Chelsea 4, City 4. Well, let's go back to Natalie in the studio.
Welcome back to Match Day Live. It's finished 4-4. I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely exhausted. That game's properly taken it out of me. 4-4. Still joined in the studio by Joleon Lescott, by Kolo Toure, and by Brian Barry Murphy. Brian, you were so close to your prediction, by the way. You said before the game 4-3 or 4-2. You expected it was going to be crazy, and I mean, I think it was even crazier than we thought it would be.
I don't know what to say, really. I don't know where to begin or end. It was an amazing game. I think the overriding feeling was probably a fair result in the end, based on the number of chances both teams have. And I think on reflection, I think that Pep will be reasonably happy, because he'll know that Chelsea are a team on the rise, and Pochettino is starting to get a real tune on him. So I think for our lads, the long run here is that after Christmas, this could be a very important result when they start to mount their inevitable challenge on the league title.
Kolo, could this go down as a Premier League classic? I mean, certainly one of the games of the season.
Absolutely. For me, so far, is the game that I watch, and I'm really, really happy with as a fan of football. You know, the game was incredible. The intensity, the speed, the quality of the players. And I will say, like, the will of the players to win the game was incredible. What a game!
They were the will to win it in the 99th minute. At no point was anybody settling for a draw in this game. They were trying, weren't they?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that was the standout factor for me, was that they set up to win, not to not win or not to not lose. In fact, and he said to go gung-ho so late on and push through it. And even after the equaliser for Chelsea, then City still probe and Chelsea still believe they can score. So yeah, obviously both managers and sets of players both were determined to get the maximum points. But yeah, it will definitely play it as a classic.
So we've got loads of goals to talk about. I'm going to have to look at my notes because there were so many goals. I can't even remember who scored what and what happened. So City with the goal straight into the second half. Haaland, classic City there, classic City. Foden with the overlap by Alvarez, and then in for Haaland, who he scores from any body part, any way that he can. He doesn't care. This was like a sort of sliding. He just kind of bundled it over, Joleon.
Yeah, poacher's finish again, and to even question a handball is remarkable. VI checking every decision, every possible decision. But yeah, Haaland was where he's supposed to be and where you would want your strikers to be, and middle of the goal when the cross is coming in, and like the first half when we seen Raheem, Haaland taps it in.
And minutes into the second half, I loved it, Brian, because we came straight out and we were in it.
Yeah, the mentality of the team was you always knew that they were going to be aggressive. I think because the respect that they were showing Chelsea after the first half performance was that we have to up it a gear here, and you saw the intensity levels definitely increased after half time. Incorrectly, I felt Kolo said around 62 or 63 minutes that Chelsea looked as if they were fatiguing a little bit, and it sensed that we were just getting control. But at that point, they still produced good moments to almost, I suppose, put away the inevitable onslaught towards the end, and that put the game in the balance. So it was two end to end from one team to have total control of the game, despite, I suppose, how Pep tried to control the game by bringing on Kovacic especially for some real control, and it was just you couldn't find anything to calm down the game.
Yeah, Kovacic joining the player playing for their other old team that was happening all day today.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go back over to Stamford Bridge now. We are going to keep talking about all of the goals and everything that happened. But before that, FG and Michael Brown, what did you make of the game?
Wow, what a game. 4-4. The whole ground is stood up, applauding. The City players are coming over. Michael Brown, give me your thoughts.
Oh, I just can't catch my breath. It's like a throwback game. It was so exciting. I know we want more control, but that end-to-end, I thought it was the winner when Rodri put it in. The celebrations here, I know he ricocheted. It wasn't meant to be, but great fight, great determination from the players. It's just a wonderful, entertaining football all round in the Premier League.
The game had everything. It had the VAR, it had the penalties, it had the late goals, and it also had some of the best support you'll see. These guys were incredible. and they carried them through, and we were so close, weren't we, to getting the result, and you can hear them behind us.
But just look at the supporters there now.
It's
Full credit to
absolutely
them,
incredible.
It just was a wonderful game of football, wasn't it? The way the ball got moved around on the surface, some of the skills, Bernardo everywhere, wasn't he? I mean, Haaland saying, come on, we were waiting for goal checks. And then a great enemy, Rodri. It wasn't meant to be. Cole Palmer getting the penalty, but for me, I'd certainly take that, top of the Premier League, and obviously a nice break now with the internationals.
We've changed a lot as a club, and we're disappointed with the draw, especially at places like here. But like Brownie said, we're top of the league. We've got to enjoy it heading into the international break. You've got to tell everybody you're top of the league for the next couple of weeks. And then we've got Liverpool next, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Obviously, a massive game. Liverpool putting a little bit of pressure on at the top, as expected. That's what you want in the Premier League, that little bit of pressure to make sure you perform, get good performances. That was a good performance from the team today. So the Chelsea side, who've got dangerous players, lots of incidents, VAR as you said, but going into Liverpool, we'll be fresh, have a little bit of a break, get away from the training ground, and then we've got a massive game ahead.
Massive games ahead. Massive thank you to you, Brownie, for joining me at Pitchside. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to the Pitchside stuff. Let's head back to the studio.
Wow, the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge looked insane. And also, did anybody else notice that FG kind of looked a bit startled, like, what have I just witnessed? I think we are all feeling that as well. So it finished 4-4 at Stamford Bridge. We were talking our way through the goals. We were up to 3-2? Yes.
Just on Haaland's second.
Haaland's second, City's third, the fifth goal of the game.
Oh, wow. Nice, no?
Thank you. Right, so we're going to move on to Chelsea's third goal, which came through Nicholas Jackson, who I didn't like because of the way that he reacted for their first goal. But the...
I celebrated it.
Yes, yes.
Just making sure.
Yes. I can't remember it, I'm not going to lie.
Celebration.
Chelsea's third goal, what do you remember?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There's a shot, and then
his
save
goal,
from
He's on the move, isn't he? He's on the move. Yeah.
From the goalkeeper,
and the ball. Yeah, and he come out and he got there, reacted faster than anyone. To be fair, because
quicker.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. There's a moment where Ruben Dias just tackled just to block the ball, but the ball doesn't come on him, and that's the moment the time is gonna
lose.
Yeah, exactly.
He can lose in reaction time. Yeah,
exactly. And then Jackson is free and score the goal.
I'm glad your memory's better than mine, Kolo. Thank you. I feel like I've totally forgotten that goal. There were so many. So 3-3, and then we thought City had the winner. Incredible strike from Rodri. Comes off. We realise it comes off Thiago when we look at it back, but you've got to give Rodri credit for taking the chance when he had it.
Yeah, it might look a little bit lucky, but I think not by luck all the time. Rodri ends up in those positions a lot, doesn't he? Like a holding midfield player, in essence, in a Pep team, plays pretty deep, but he's always on the edge of the box and practices that finish a lot. So when it drops him, I wasn't surprised to see it hit the target, and when it deflected in off Thiago, it was. I thought it was going to be the defining factor of the game based on where the game was on time, and I thought it was a pretty good finish.
I thought it was the winner, Joleon. I really thought, and it was like, Rodri again. He pops up with the big winner, but it was a cracking strike. Thiago unlucky, do you think?
Yeah, slightly unlucky. It's always difficult when you're in the width of the goal. Do you risk deflecting it away from the goalie or in the opposite direction? But you can never, obviously, control that. If you could read deflections, then you'd be world class and psychic kind of thing. So in regards to the outcome of it, it's unfortunate, but he has to attempt to block it because, like you said, a shot on target, you want to try and do your best to stop it from going in.
Kolo said the same, didn't he?
Yeah, it's impossible. When the ball come like that as a defender, you don't want to leave it go.
Yeah, no.
You feel like I need to do something.
Yeah. And
it's a bit unlucky. You can block better. I will say, if you want to block, just make
solid
block it proper. Yeah. He doesn't block it really. He's half enough. You want to leave it. You want to put his feet, and then deflection it goes, and difficult for the goalkeeper.
But it wasn't the winning goal, because between then and the 100th minute, the game went on for 100 minutes, in stoppage time, Chelsea got a penalty. So, Kolo, what did you make of the penalty? So it's Ruben Dias that's gone in and taken the man out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a penalty. It's a penalty, definitely. And in the box like that, when you just throw yourself like that as a defender, you have to make sure you win the ball. They win the ball and then you got the guy at the same time, which is an easy decision for the referee, definitely.
Yeah, it's hard because, again, Ruben Diaz is a heart on his sleeve kind of defender, so he's trying to block the shot. And you have to give credit to Boja because the composure he shows, he's come on late in the game, he's been out for a while. You would think he wants to just snatch at the opportunity because you don't know he's going to get the time. But yeah, he settles down in the box and waits for the attempted tackle. And it's unfortunate because he doesn't actually tackle the standing leg where the ball is. He kind of goes between his legs, and he's quite fortunate enough not to injure him, to be fair, because he makes him do the splits. But yeah, it's a definite penalty.
Does touch the ball first, but then obviously slides in and takes him out. And then there was definitely a moment here in the studio, and I imagine there was a moment for you all at home as well, where you realise, this is going to be a penalty. Oh, who takes Chelsea's penalties? And then you realise it's Cole Palmer. And it feels like we should have predicted that, I jokingly said at half-time it was going to be Sterling or Palmer. Well, obviously they both scored. So the moment you realise that Palmer's going to be taking the penalty, Brian, what were you thinking as somebody that's worked so closely with him?
I think it must have been hard for Cole psychologically, because it was definitely hard for us, myself included, psychologically, because we've seen him so many times in the academy put that ball in that same position and put everything behind wanting him to score. So now he plays for a different team. Naturally, you probably didn't want him to score because it was going to affect the result, but I'll be lying if I said part of me didn't want to see Cole go through the anguish of missing a penalty and that deciding factor of the game. So I think it's just the nature of top level sport that one of our own has gone down there and had a huge impact on the game in all seriousness, because I think that move at half-time by Poch, by putting him inside, was a pretty brave move, and Cole ended up having a huge impact on the game. Probably just written in the stars that he was going to have one final say, but I think testament to him really that he was willing to. There was no doubt whatsoever he was going to take the penalty, and no doubt that he was going to produce a very confident strike, and it was just a case of whether Eddie could save it, and he couldn't.
And he really did. I mean, it was a great penalty. And
he's good at those.
He practices that a lot.
Oh my God!
That wasn't like exactly where we put that. That isn't a fluke.
Yes, absolutely.
An accident. He literally practices to pull it there, and I've seen him try to repeat that and tell the goalkeeper, "I'm going to put it there." So it wasn't a surprise. But like Brian said, he knows him as well as anyone, and he's probably at his strongest in their moments when it's all chaotic, and he knows the pressure's on him. He wants that.
I suppose for years we kind of like all our academy players from the age of 8, 9, 10, unless I've only in the older category, but we teach the players that they're going to practice this action so that in the biggest moments at Man City or at another club they're going to be able to produce it. So to see him do that was almost like testament to what all the work goes into, why we do all that work and why the player does all that. So it's just probably a bit disappointing it was for another club.
The personality to take the penalty at that moment of the game, and that showed that now he's a leader. For me, he's a technical leader of that team, really, because doing that on that moment against that team, the champion this is big character. His future is bright.
Yeah. It's still only 2 seasons ago that he came on for the first team in the Etihad and walked across the road to score a hat-trick for us in that PL2 game against Leicester.
I remember that.
And that wasn't, like, sometimes you see a lot of gimmicks in football, but like it was just down to him. He just told Pep that he wanted to play in the game.
He just wants to play.
Yeah, he just wanted to, he more or less insisted on it. And he came on, I think, in the 75th minute, and Pep asked him, is it still okay for you to go across? And he said, yeah, I'm playing. And he came on and scored a hat-trick against Leicester, and I wasn't coaching him, I was just like admiring him and seeing what he could do. You're seeing that same kind of love of the game and impulsive nature in that last action when he just like.
I think that's where he's similar to Phil. I don't think you can create that obsession with football as much as they love City, but they love the game. They want to be the best they can be, and they will do whatever it takes, whether it's play 2 games in a day and practice repetitively and what they need to work on. So again, it didn't surprise me that he executed.
I'm going to preempt what I imagine Pep's about to be asked in his pre-match press conference, and the question that I imagine he's going to be asked every day for the next however long until something else goes on. No?
Listen, this club has created a machine, a dynasty that they will never regret any player because like they've just produced players. Like they sell Riyad Mahrez and Cole Palmer is the next one, and they sell Cole Palmer and you can buy Doku and you get rid of David Silva and there's Phil Foden. The transition has been everlasting to get rid of Yaya and it's Kevin De Bruyne, to get rid of Vincent Kompany, it's Ruben Diaz. So the club will never regret. Sergio Aguero goes, Haaland's available. This club will never regret any player.
I think credit to the academy. The guys from the academy are doing a great job. This club, from where the club was and where the club is going, by creating those young top talents, that show that there is good session training putting there from the coaches, and the vision is unbelievable. And that's again, well done to the academy.
Probably even Cole, I don't mean to keep going on, but Cole, before I was here, was very much a late developer. There was a really small player in the academy who was always behind the rest of the group and was getting very limited game time, but just stuck at it.
On the cusp of getting released numerous times as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, because of his personality and his dedication to wanting to be a professional, he just stuck at it and then became this amazing player at 15, 16, 17 because I suppose his body was able to allow him to show that in the end. It's a great story, I think.
Were you expecting his reaction to the goal? So there wasn't a real celebration, but it felt like almost a little shrug where he was like, well, look, I'm good.
I think he's very authentic. You said before, like everything you ask him, you get an honest answer, and his actions are got great integrity, I think, and his respect for the club that he's come through at and the supporters, I think, will just be embellished by that because he didn't rub their nose in it, did he? And
yeah, I think if that's the last minute winner against United, I think there's far more enthusiasm in the celebration. So again, you've got to expect him to show some passion because he's at a new club. You got to respect that. He's got to build a relationship with them as much as respect the relationship he has with Man City.
I thought it was a pretty decent celebration, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Yes.
You didn't take it as being offensive to your club like as such, or no?
Not in the slightest.
And Raheem, respect to Raheem as well. He's a City legend. He's won numerous titles here, so they kind of respected the relationship that they have with the club, and obviously also respect the relationship they're trying to build with Chelsea.
And I think Pep deep down will be like really happy for Cole in terms of what he's done. That's genuine, I think, because he knows how desperate he was to play a lot of games, and he just couldn't give him those games. So I think he'll be really satisfied because he sees the bigger picture all the time, doesn't he? He's that guy.
So we are 12 games into this Premier League season now, and the table is looking lovely. So City top of the table with 3 points on second place Liverpool. They're on the same points as Arsenal, but they have a 1 goal better goal difference. Tottenham sit on fourth now, 26. So City on 30, Liverpool, Arsenal on 27, Tottenham on 26, and Aston Villa in fifth on 25. Oh, I'm sorry, we're on 28. I apologise. 28. Oh, my screen hadn't refreshed in the last minute. Oh, now I feel a bit sad. 28, we're still top of the league though. Okay, so 28, top of the league after 12 games. Take you back a year, and after 12 games, there was a break, of course, for the World Cup. And if you remember, we got beaten at home in that game by Brentford. So 12 months ago, Arsenal are top of the league. Arsenal have a 4-point gap to us, Joleon, going into the World Cup. So the fact that at this point of the season, we are top of the league by a point, how important is that going to be going forward?
I think it's more devastating for the opposition. I don't think it's going to matter to this group of players, the coach, because they're used to being competitive and challenging for the title. So they're used to being in both scenarios where it's more formidable for Arsenal, for Chelsea, for Liverpool to look and think we have to catch Man City, and you only catch Man City by them dropping points. Like, it doesn't matter what you do, they can emulate your results, and we've seen the club go on, and they will at some stage go on a 10, 12 game winning streak, and that's the new normal for the club. So I think it's more worrying for the opposition that we're top rather than us being 1-2 points ahead or behind.
Do you think, is it possible we are better this season than we were last season, Kolo, or have we just set ridiculous standards now?
I think, for me, my opinion is losing like a player like Gundogan. It's a big loss, but like you said, with City, City always replace their players with better players. But I think, this season for City is going to be more challenging, I will say, because doing the triple, winning the Champions League, you lose a little bit of
hunger, maybe.
Hunger, exactly. You lose a little bit of hunger, and they have to find that. But for me, where they are right now is great. They're winning games. Obviously, the draw today, but they will keep winning games because the winning mentality that the club created is vital. Is so important. And I'm sure that they will still there. Other team have to worry, definitely. The other team have to worry because, when City is on top there, difficult to catch with them.
It feels like there's perhaps more competition this year as well. Of course, Liverpool's currently sitting second. I mean, Chelsea, after that performance today, they're in 10th now. But Chelsea definitely seem to be on the up. Can you envision a time when they get and they're maybe challenging the top four? Yeah,
I think it's inevitable based on the amount of money they can spend, and now the head coach is of a supreme standard. I just sense that this team, I don't know if it can be successful, but it's going to be different, isn't it? And the success is going to be inevitable based on colour for the hunger. I think Pep wants to regenerate the hunger by bringing in new players. So like for Gundo and Riyad to leave, you're replaced by Jeremy Doku and Gvardiol, who are like so young. but there's so much potential. So I think what you're going to see is a different team evolve over the course of the season. But I think he'll be over the moon in terms of, he'll definitely say, I think, 'cause he'll always speaks about just being there in the game, and the personality of the team was so evident. But to be where the team is after 12 games, I think is exactly where he'll want to be, because he'll know that these young players are going to grow throughout the course of the season, and you're going to bring back Kevin, who's now back on pitch, and like you couldn't. I don't think you could be any more excited if you tried, because it's just inevitable that the team's going to improve throughout the course of the season, and every other team would be worried, no?
No, of course.
I think every other team would be
when does the coach or the players or the fans never want to be top of the league? Like, why would you not be happy? So yeah, top of the league, regardless of what you had last season or what the opposition have. If you're top, you're happy with the way you're performing and with the points you have. So. Yeah,
I think if you were coming back this season and watching the exact same team as last season, you could say, is it going to be hard to replicate that because of the hunger? But he's almost saying that I'm going to bring in all these new players, and the hunger is going to be generated by those new players, and then the other guys just have to go along with it. And it does happen.
Yeah, definitely. And
that's a genius way of
like you said, the injury that John Stones and Kevin De Bruyne have, like they'll be like new players. They'll just want to be back and playing and stuff like that. So they missing like 6 weeks. And so all of
Jack, I think, Joleon.
Yeah, Jack.
And Jack up to full speed.
Yeah, 100%. So you'll have a batch of players that will just want to play and want to just be excited to be on the training ground again. So yeah, that breeds a mentality and a confidence and a motivation that you can't just replicate from winning.
The idea that we've still got a fresh Kevin De Bruyne to come back. Cannot wait. So we have been playing a game with you all today. Mystery Blue. We've given you 3 clues. How have you got on? Let's have a look at the clues again, and we'll give you a reveal who our Mystery Blue was today. So these were the clues. Scored 76 goals across 5 teams in the Premier League. Appeared in 35 games alongside Kolo Toure. And the player began his career at City, but had spells at Chelsea, more known for spells at Chelsea and at Liverpool. Joleon, did you think you got it in the end?
Yeah.
Go on.
Got it.
Who do you think it was?
I think it's Daniel Sturridge.
Is the Mystery Blue Daniel Sturridge? It is indeed Daniel Sturridge. Well done, Joleon. What gave it away?
I was focusing on the games alongside Kolo, so I just the Liverpool connection. I was just thinking about who we played with, and then I seen started at City, which made it a little bit easier.
What was the 5th team? His 5th Premier League team?
Bolton.
Bolton, he played for.
Yes, Bolton. I forgot. Yes.
I couldn't find.
He went on loan to Bolton from Chelsea, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the other clubs he played. That's why.
West Brom.
Yes.
West Brom and
West Brom and Bolton were the 2 teams.
Couldn't get the ball.
Yes.
Okay.
Very well done, Joleon, and very well to you all done at home.
Joe.
Took part.
I know stuck up.
Yes, and if you got that correct, well done to you as well. So we are going into the international break now, so no Premier League football now for just under 2 weeks. Our next game will be a week on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff against Liverpool. That is a home game, and we have had some tasty games against Liverpool. Currently sitting Liverpool second in the table as well. First and second play. How's that suddenly happened?
Because that's the way you want it to happen, though. And when defining games come back to the 2 teams that are competing for the title, it's amazing. But again, it's always been the case. Even when Liverpool weren't competing for the title recently, it was always a massive game, and it's probably the game where the coaches respect the opposition a little bit more than other teams. I think there's a tweak in both setups when Liverpool play Spurs City. I think they both recognise the strengths and try to adapt it. I don't think they just think, well, we'll do what we do and it will work. I think there's a bit more respect.
Good point. I think that's a good point. I think there was Smalls the sign in the second half where Jack came on for Jeremy. It might have looked a strange move, but I think it just gave the team more control in terms of that. And then Kovacic on for Julian looked slightly conservative move, but it essentially could have won the game because it gave Pep what he wanted, control of the game, and took away a bit of, I suppose, the transitional nature of the game. So I think you're right. I think Klopp, Pochettino, Pep, Mikel at Arsenal, all these teams they won't take a step back. So this could be the start of some incredible games between those teams. I don't know if I missed anybody out, but
it's going to be another game.
Newcastle.
Yeah, all these teams are teams who are aggressive in mindset.
Exactly, another game with a lot of intensity.
Yeah.
Box to box game really, and we all know that City like to control more the game. And looking forward to that kind of game, because again, might be a lot of game again, a lot of goals in those games, and these are games that we want to watch.
I think it helps that it's at Etihad.
Yeah, it is.
Like going into that scenario, first and second at Anfield, a bit more intensity.
Big intensity.
Yeah, this game actually, City-Liverpool over probably the last 5 years has been the game that I've kind of probably feared the most, beyond like United. Of course, Liverpool had a dip last year, a disappointing season in terms of them, but they're definitely looking like they're back in the hunt this year. What's changed? What happened last year? What's different this year?
I think Mane was a huge loss. I think he was bigger than they anticipated last year. I think Salah is vitally important to what they do in terms of goals, but Mane, in terms of in and out of possession, I think he was the most important player, and I just don't think he was appreciated until he was gone. And then all of a sudden, there's an expectation. And then Diaz, who I do like, was injured, missed a lot of games. So, yeah, there was always going to be a period where it wasn't going to be the same. But I think they're back. I don't think they're back to the best. I just think they're winning games and getting results by not being great. But City, that'll bring out the best in him.
And Mohamed Salah continues year after year to be phenomenal. He got on the score sheet again today. We're going to have to really, as always, be careful with him, Brian. Yeah,
but I think the players showed in the Champions League last year when they play against these teams who are so dangerous on transition, all the quick players. It's a supreme test of this team, and they can just take that away from the opponents by having the ball for longer periods of time. And the manager and the team can show their elite level by totally controlling the speed of the game, and they'll be very mindful of those strengths. But we'll have a clear plan to deal with it, I think.
Two of your former teams, Kolo?
Yeah, always dangerous team. You know, they have really, really good players on their team. They made a really good signing, as we said.
Fielder.
Yeah, the midfield, the two midfield they have, I think, I've made them better, and they can score goals. And you know, we know Salah is somebody who wants to score goals, and he got great speed. He still have some strength, and yeah. I think, like you say, you know, losing Mane was a big problem for them, I believe, because Mane was the player who just attract players, and then to give the space to Salah in the other side, you know, because when Mane have to go, 2-3 guys come because he's the one who drive the ball really. But I think this season they find a balance now. They start doing better than last season.
As always for me, though, for the next 2 weeks, I'm just going to be worried that everybody's all right. Just keep an eye on all of the international games, hope that everybody comes back fit and well. And that is always my priority in an international window, especially now Scotland have qualified for the Euros. All is well.
Are you Scottish?
I am indeed Scottish. Yes, I am, Joleon.
Understand it.
Is that all that matters? Is it? I can't.
Celtic or Rangers?
Manchester City, Kolo.
Oh wow. No, you're definitely not Scottish. You're Celtic or Rangers. You're definitely not Scottish.
Not all Scottish people support Celtic or Rangers. My brother is Hibs, I think, randomly. So
yeah, but but he's up there, but you're down here. You have to have a Scottish team at least.
Berwick Rangers.
Who?
Berwick Rangers is my dad's team.
Okay.
Berwick Rangers. Is that okay?
Good answer.
Have I passed?
Good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Phew.
Non-divisive.
Yes.
Very good.
Or I could just show you my passport next time if you want, and we'll just miss this bit out. In a second, we may have an interview for you. We're just holding on just for a minute to see if we've got somebody that is going to be speaking to us. I jest about the injuries, Brian, but is that something that the club pays attention to, do you think?
I think he references how good the doctors and medical staff here are. There's so many of them, but I think of such a high level that he puts so much importance, because they can help prevent the players from getting a lot of muscular injuries, and the rehabilitation process is so thorough that they will hope that when Kevin comes back, he's at a level, like Joleon said, where he can have such a huge impact on the season. The same for John. So it's probably the most important department in the club, really, and that's why there's so much resource put into it.
Yeah, massive shout out to the medical team, the physios that do
Very
an incredible job. Thank you all. I do have an interview for you in just a second with Rodri, but I just want to say before that, big thank you, Joleon Lescott. Big thank you, Kolo Toure. Thank you, Brian, as always. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for joining us today on what has been an absolutely incredible Premier League game. City drew 4-4 with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. It keeps us at the top of the Premier League table as we go into this international break. We'll be back in 2 weeks when City take on Liverpool, but before that, enjoy this interview with Rodri that we've just caught at Stamford Bridge. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
That was an incredible game of football, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, a bit disappointed because at the end we could win it. I don't think also that we were the best today, to be honest. But we never give up. We never lose the face, and at the end, a draw that gives us the possibility to be first on the table. And it's a positive point.
It's probably going to be considered a Premier League classic in years to come, but is there disappointment in the dressing room?
Well, in the fact that, yeah, of course, this team always want to win, and we were close, but when you give everything, nothing to regret. We're a team, but we have to adjust some things, because I think we committed a lot of mistakes today, to be honest. But yeah, on the other hand, we have injuries that cause us bit problems, but it's never a regret. We have the players we have, and I think we did better, and this is the mentality of ourselves to try to do it better every game.
Can you enjoy a game like that, or is it a bit stressful at times?
No, I mean, for us you end exhausted, of course. It's a lot, and when you add 8 minutes, imagine. I think football is becoming a bit crazy in this sense, because we play 100 minutes. It's a lot, but you have to adjust this. I mean, it's what it is, and then yeah, we were close to win, but I think we have to look at ourselves that we can improve.
Yeah. Chelsea look like they're really getting their act together now, don't they? That was a really difficult game. Palmer and Sterling caused us a lot of problems, didn't they?
Yeah, you see the players they have. Of course, they are very good and talented players. It's normal that it's difficult to beat them. They spend a lot, they sign incredible players, so yeah, it's going to be one of the teams that's going to be there in the next years, but this is the level of the league.
And your goal on the edge of the box, it's a Rodri classic, wasn't it? With a bit of a deflection. Looked like it would have won it.
Yeah, we were close, a bit disappointed, but football is like this. No regret, we could defend better. I know 8 minutes is a lot, and we were exhausted, but then they found a good pass. We could avoid the penalty, but it's what it is.
So top of the league and international break, and then back against Liverpool, so it all starts again.
Yeah, positive mentality, of course. This season, like every season, is going to be ups and downs, but we have to make sure that we're all together, and at the moment we are the best team in the league, so we have to try to keep working in the same way. And yeah, hope, as I tell you before, we have important players injured. Let's see if they can come early, because they are important players.
Okay, thanks a lot,
Thank you,
Rodri.
guys.
Thank you. Cheers.